20,000 years ago, specifically in Europe at the end of winter, a group of tribes were selecting their young members who would join the hunt with their best handmade weapons. Only 2 managed to pass, and Keda was one of them. Keda was the son of the tribe's chief. Before the hunt, those who passed would be beaten first to ensure their physical strength. The chief, named Tao, then approached Keda and encouraged his son. He was confident that Keda could lead his team in the hunt. That night, they held a ritual to ensure a successful hunt the next day. During the night, Keda's mother began to doubt whether Keda could undertake the hunt because she thought Keda wasn't fully ready. Her husband tried to calm her down, assuring her that everything would be fine, because if the hunt wasn't done, everyone could starve. The next morning arrived, and the hunting party began to bid farewell to their families. Keda did the same, saying goodbye to his mother, and the journey began. During the journey, as it was already night, they decided to rest. The journey continued the next day, and they accidentally met other hunters. Initially, the 2 tribes were silent, but then Keda's father and the other person hugged, revealing they were good friends. After introducing Keda to his friend, they decided to hunt together. During the journey, they managed to hunt a wild boar, and at that moment Tao instructed Keda to finish it. However, Keda, still hesitant, couldn't do it. Tao, frustrated and disappointed, grabbed the weapon and quickly finished the job. That night, while they were resting and enjoying the hunt, suddenly everyone fell silent as they heard a suspicious noise. Everyone quickly grabbed their weapons as the terrifying sound got closer, and suddenly a saber-toothed tiger attacked, taking one member away. There were no further attacks, but from that incident, Keda witnessed his friend die. After conducting the death ritual, they continued their long journey. During one of their breaks, Tao told Keda about a pack of wolves on the hill. He also said that the leader of the wolves was called Alpha. The Alpha's job was to protect the pack. Being a protector didn't mean he was safe. The Alpha was always in danger. The next day, the hunters found bison droppings, indicating their target was close. They immediately prepared and started executing their plan to catch their prey. Several spears were thrown to make the bison fall from the hill, but one of them turned and attacked Keda. The boy was thrown hard and lay helpless. Not only that, the bison pulled Keda back and then threw him into the ravine just as his father thrust his spear. Keda managed to hold onto a rock, but unable to hold on any longer, he fell and lost consciousness at the edge of the cliff. Tao was very panicked seeing his son. When Tao intended to help Keda, his other friend immediately stopped him, convinced that Keda was already dead. After carrying the hunt, Tao and the others held Keda's death ceremony and immediately left to return home. But not long after, a predatory bird approached Keda. Because of the bird's pecking, surprisingly, Keda regained consciousness. Keda kept calling for his father, but unfortunately, he didn't know that he had been left far behind. With his body very weak, Keda could only hang on, but fortunately, when heavy rain fell, he could descend by plunging into the valley filled with rushing water. It turns out luck was on Keda's side. Proof of this was after being attacked by the bison, stranded on the cliff, and dragged by the water current, Keda was still able to wake up, even though his leg was now broken. After bracing his leg with a stick, he began to walk and found a pile of rocks thought to be left by his father, who had assumed he was dead. Now Keda was alone. Unable to sleep well and hungry, he was forced to eat earthworms. While Keda was resting, a pack of wolves approached him and intended to attack. Fortunately, Keda was still able to escape and stabbed one of them. He then took refuge in a tree. The next morning, Keda gathered his courage. He descended from the tree and tried to kill the wolf, but once again, too sympathetic, he couldn't do it. Instead, Keda chose to take the wolf with him, tying its mouth so it wouldn't bite. They rested and took shelter from other wild animals in a cave. To warm their bodies from the cold night, Keda struggled to start a fire using rubbed sticks, but since he couldn't succeed, he grew frustrated and went to sleep. The next morning, when he woke up, Keda went to collect various plants to treat his wounds again. Meanwhile, the wolf remained in place, but this time it was trying to untie its mouth and succeeded. Realizing the wolf was free, Keda slowly gave it some of his water. Unable to keep eating disgusting food, Keda went hunting and managed to catch a rabbit. Though initially annoyed because the wolf was impatient to eat, Keda finally managed to make a fire, roast the meat, and shared it with the wolf. Keda and the wolf were actually in the same situation. Both were far from their families. Using the constellations and teachings from his father, Keda dared himself to return to the village alone. Before leaving, Keda tried to tell the wolf to go home too, but it followed him instead. After several attempts to drive it away failed, Keda finally gave in and accepted the wolf to join him. During the journey, the wolf accidentally saw a wild boar and immediately chased it. Meanwhile, Keda tried to shoot it, but because his hunting instincts were not fully developed, the hunt failed. However, the bond between Keda and the wolf grew stronger. Proven by the next hunt, Keda was able to keep up with the wolf in chasing the prey, and they successfully caught their target. Now the wolf was no longer aggressive towards Keda. When Keda was sleeping, the wolf quietly approached and slept beside him. Long story short, they became close and went to bathe together. At the same place, the wolf managed to catch fish for their breakfast. After that, the journey continued. Since then, Keda called the wolf Alpha. Winter had arrived, and again they hunted together to get food. One night, Alpha was approached by a pack of other wolves. Fortunately, Alpha managed to convince them not to attack Keda. Knowing that Alpha missed his family, Keda reluctantly told him to go home. After Alpha left, Keda continued his journey alone. He felt cold every night, even dreaming of his mother screaming when his father said Keda had died. A few days later, while Keda was continuing his journey, a snowstorm suddenly came. At the same time, Keda accidentally saw Alpha with his family. Keda, very excited, ran to approach them, but unfortunately the ice he stepped on broke, and he fell into the river below. Realizing its new friend was in danger, Alpha tried to help until he succeeded. Since that day, Alpha never left Keda again. Soaking wet, Keda quickly removed all his clothes and placed them along with himself beside the fire to prevent hypothermia. Once he had somewhat recovered, Keda continued his journey, accompanied by Alpha. On the way, Keda was delighted to see someone sitting beside a tent. However, his hope of asking for help vanished when he realized the person was already dead. Keda entered the tent to see if there was any food left, but there was nothing, which made him frustrated. Unable to just stay and wait to die, Keda took the dead person's weapon and left. Keda's misfortune did not stop there. In the middle of the snowstorm with poor visibility, a pack of hyenas chased Keda and Alpha. They immediately took shelter in a cave. However, they were not safe yet, as a saber-tooth appeared. When the animal was about to attack Keda, Alpha fought it off, and they battled. Keda, unable to let his friend get hurt, mustered his courage to attack the saber-tooth. Although he hesitated at first, he eventually managed to kill it. However, Alpha was severely injured, limping. Undeterred, they continued their journey. Their efforts paid off as Keda found the pile of stones he had passed with his family before. Unfortunately, due to the cold, Keda's physical condition began to weaken. The next day, it was Alpha's turn to weaken and fall. Keda, not wanting to lose his friend, carried Alpha with all his might. In his sleep, Keda dreamed of his parents again, which gave him some motivation. Finally, Keda managed to return to his village with Alpha. Of course, his parents were initially in disbelief but happily embraced Keda. Afterward, Keda and Alpha were treated by a healer. Unexpectedly, during the examination, it was found that Alpha was pregnant and about to give birth. Since then, Keda and the wolves became friends, and the film ends. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, because by subscribing you have supported me to make better videos. See you in the next video.